Hi, I'm James from Clevertouch. Today I want to take you through a mini demonstration of the CleverLive platform, from why to also some of the really nice features, and maybe even then show you how to actually get content from the cloud platform onto your screen. So the main key features of the platform, it is cloud-based, as I just mentioned. So what makes it really nice is you can edit the content, you can manage and update that from wherever you are in the world. All you need is a laptop with a browser. Any browser will do. You just go to CleverLive and then you can then update and manage that content from there. Second thing is, although we are cloud-based, we are also subscription free. So that then basically means all you do is purchase the hardware. So for those not really used to what Clevertouch can offer, we offer anything from interactive digital signage to interactive screens to freestanding totems, room booking, displays. Essentially what that means is you purchase the hardware from Clevertouch, you get the CleverLive completely included with no ongoing costs. What it also means as well is that any updates and things that we create, you would be able to access those and then utilize those as well. The third thing is that it's easy to use. So a lot of platforms out there with digital signage, you can do very, very similar things, although it can be quite difficult to actually manage and update that content as and when you're going. Ours is designed to be really, really straightforward, from uploading a singular poster all the way to creating some quite complicated content, either utilizing our templates or if you want to do some custom stuff as well. So there's a couple of really, really nice features that you can actually do with the product other than just showing content. So you can see behind me, we've got 3 of our products. We've got our freestanding non-touch totem. We do also offer a touch one. We've got a room booking system here that works with Office 365 or Google, shows the room but also can be used with signage. We also have one of our CL Pros, which is our commercial displays that range from a 43 up to a 98 inch and a few sizes in between as well. You may also be able to see behind me, we offer media players that make any screen also CleverLive based. Now, further to that hardware, we have some nice software features. So one of those features is obviously creating content and uploading it. Another one is our announcements or our alerts, which essentially is content triggering. So I can use my phone, and on my phone I have an interface, and if I press one button, what that then can do is activate a message that then is played on every single display within the estate. So you can see behind me, those screens are now showcasing that we need to evacuate. This can be used for anything. The evacuation is just an example. We see it used all the time for minute silences, even things like happy birthdays and other nice messages as well, but the evacuate one is particularly pertinent. The nice thing is as well, there's an all clear button that you can hit, and you can have as many of these options as you want on the admin profile too. If you have a multi-site, you can also create custom interfaces for individuals located on each site, so that if I press that button, I'm not sending a message to our London office and our Leeds office, for instance. I'm only sending it to the office that we are located in currently. There is also the QR control option. So Clevertouch at heart are an interactive screen. What that then means is we want to really try and push some form of collaboration and interactivity with our digital signage as well. So what I've got on here is an example piece of content for maybe a shop, or in this case a holiday destination. But please note, this could be anything. We see it with properties, we see it with charities for information, but what we want to do is we want to give power to the individual looking at the content. So it can be quite tricky with digital signage. If I don't get the content correct, the likelihood is you're just going to walk past and not see it. What we wanted to give is people the opportunity to go, well, actually, I want to control that and see something specific. So in this case, I've got my phone. I can use the camera and I can scan this QR code. Now, CleverLive does come with multiple QR codes. You can have it so that I just get that information down to my phone, which is obviously ideal, but in this case, I've created these buttons, which are actually destinations that this particular fake destination place offers. So I can say, well, actually, I'm interested in the Rome information. So I press that. Nothing happens on my phone. What actually it does is it changes the display behind me to showcase Rome content. Now, I imagine this is super powerful because it allows me to collaborate with multiple individuals. So I could be with my family and they can all see the same content as me rather than me showing my screen. But also it means that I'm creating some form of experience that people are more likely to remember. Further to that, of course, If I didn't like the idea of Rome, it goes back to the other page and I can then click another option and it will then transition if I wanted to. What will also happen after a period of time is this interface will vanish from my phone. I don't want somebody walking down the street clicking things about Krakow and Lanzarote and Alicante if they're done. So after either 30 seconds or a minute in this case, my phone will default to a URL of my choice. In this case, it's a form because I want to generate some more interest off of the back of my digital signage. I don't just want somebody scanning something, then walking away done. I want somebody scanning something, looking at the information, wondering what they can do with it, and then going, actually, we'll go and have a coffee. When they go to have a coffee, they bring their phone out and it's got that content ready for them to then see on their display. The likelihood is, hopefully, they fill out a form or they do have a look at some more information on the holiday. Now, there's some really, really good examples of that. And if you do want to see something that's more specific to the vertical that you guys are in, I would definitely encourage you guys to reach out. What I'm going to do now is, it's all well and good me showing you all of this stuff and saying that it's easy to use, but what I really want to do is show you how easy it is to use. So we're actually going to jump on my laptop and we can have a bit of a discussion of exactly how you can create and manage this content. Okay, so all I've done here is I've opened my laptop and I've gone onto a standard web browser. Once you log on there, all you will see is the content applicable to your account. So realistically, all you really need to look at is the presentations and the screens. There are some other things that we can kind of come onto in more detail later on, but presentations is the content and the screens is the actual screens themselves. So if I just go into presentations, what you will see is you've got a couple of options. You can either create stuff from blank if you want to kind of utilize CleverLive's editing tools and do that. You can also press this large add button, and what that does is that goes into our template gallery. Now I've already rebranded it with our logo and a couple of images or some posters that we have, but obviously this could be anything related to the particular company or school that you guys are. So in this case, I can look through here. There are 220 different presentation pieces of content I can pick from. There are all sorts of different layouts, from portrait to landscape, from education focus to corporate focus. So it really isn't that difficult to find one that you want to utilize. So in this case, I can scroll through, find the appropriate piece of content, whatever it is. Let's click on that one. Press the add button, and then I give the channel a name. So this is just something that I can easily identify it by. So I'm just going to call it 123. And I'm going to import that. So we can see here it's saying importing, please wait. Essentially what this is doing is it's putting the logo, it's putting the color scheme, and it's also putting in a couple of images straight into that piece of content that I just chose. The reason for this is we wanted to ensure that the branding was up to date, and we also wanted to make sure that if you were working from home or remotely, or you just didn't have access to the logo, you were still able to create content in an emergency situation. So you've got this. Now, the other thing to note about these templates is they're designed so that an individual, you don't have to utilize all of it, but you can go in there and you can actually use our editing tool to physically change some of the zones and the sections around if you wanted to. So that's me with a multi-zone piece of content. Now, if you guys are wanting to just look at posters and look at videos, full screen based stuff, actually if you go to page 4, you'll be able to see that there are kind of some layouts that offer full screen videos and also full screen posters too. So I'm going to add one of those in as well. So I'll just call that 321. So this is just adding the layout. Now I've just gone through 2 different types of content. I've gone for a zoned piece of content where it's got the logo, images, text box, RSS feed. This one is just a full screen. CleverLive is perfect for both scenarios. It doesn't really matter which one you want to choose. So I'm just going to click back up on presentations, and then what we'll be able to see is 1, 2, 3 and 3, 2, 1 are sat there. If I start with 3, 2, 1 because there's only one zone in there, I can press this edit button, which is the pen and the square, and then you can see that's automatically branded with my 2 screens that I uploaded before, my 2 posters. So that will just scroll through those. If I wanted to add more, I could easily press the add button, click select files, and then I could maybe add a couple more if I wanted to. So I'm just going to add number 8, there you go. Press finished. And now there's going to be 3 tiles in there, and you could just repeat that as many times as you want. Now what's great about CleverLive is it's very, very easy to then assign that content. So all I would do is go on my screens tab, and then you can see this is where all of your screens will be located. Now of course you can name those to be whatever it is that you want. You can have 1 screen, you can have hundreds of screens. You can actually group screens together as well to make it a lot easier to manage those larger scale signage networks. All I'm going to do is I'm going to choose the screen behind me, which is our CL screen. And then there's 3, 2, 1, which is the posters. I can drag and I can drop. That'll say content assigned to screen successfully, and you may be able to tell that the screen behind me is now changed to display that exact content. So that's very, very easy, and that's how quick it can be. As mentioned, I have looked at a zoned piece of content as well. So that's 1, 2, 3. So if I just quickly edit that, it's very, very similar how you edit it. It's just you have to do it more. So in this case, my logo's up there. There's a welcome message. There's some text box and some images here. There's also an RSS feed going across the bottom. Now you'll see when I'm moving my mouse, there's a little red square that kind of appears. So if I wanted to change these images out, I could delete those images because they're just stock images, essentially just showing you that you can add stuff. Press the add button. That will then go into my kind of file browser, and then I can just upload, I'll just upload 3 into that section as well, 1, 2, and 3. Press finished. And then those images will be sat there. If I wanted to change the text, I can click on the text and I can just edit the text. If I wanted to say something, I can press, I'll just write hello in there. And I can change things like fonts, sizes. You can upload your own custom font if you want to stick to a brand style, text colors, all of that stuff. And when I'm finished, I just press save. And that will then be updated there. So the preview is exactly what you're about to see on the screen as well. So if you are working remotely, because it is a cloud-based system, you know exactly what's going to appear on the screen because you've already done it there. Now I can then go on my screens tab and I can click on the exact same screen, but this time I'm going to assign 1, 2, 3. I can drag and I can drop. It'll say content assigned to screens, and again you may see behind me that content has now changed and is displaying that multi-zone stuff instead of the single zone stuff. Now what if you had specific requirements? Well, again, that's relatively easy as well. You can go into the edit button and you can see the content there. Now all I want to then do is hit this padlock. So 95% of the time the padlock should be locked. However, you can press that padlock option, and then what that will do is that will essentially unlock the presentation. So now when I click on a zone, it doesn't let me edit it, it actually lets me select it. So I can move that around, but I can also delete. So this really lets you kind of customize these templates to be specific to your requirements and your needs rather than something that we've just guessed. So in this case, what I've done is I've moved that. I might want to make the logo a bit bigger potentially, drop that into the middle. I can hit this floppy disk while I'm going to save. But again, the nice thing is the templates give you a base to then start building from. So if you did want to do multi-zone stuff, we can go on here and we can say, we kind of like the layout, but I wish the logo was bigger, or I wish the RSS feed was doing something different, or I maybe wish I had a video section in there instead. So I could delete this image section, and then that's given me a really, really nice spot to then put something extra in. So in this case, there's a video. I can click on that, I can press save, and then what that will then let me do is resize that video into that missing section that I had before. So there's my video zone, so I can just move that, use these little red grab handles to resize as I see fit. So I'm just going to put that in there like that. It's a bit big, so I'm just going to make that a bit smaller. There we go. Press the floppy disk to save that zone position, press the padlock to lock it, and then now you'll see there is a video in there instead. And as I'm clicking on that, I would just upload the video in exactly the same way that I've done the photos. And what you'll also hopefully see behind me is as I'm going, the screens are synchronizing that content. So that's what this little download arrow means. So essentially what that is portraying is I want to do some changes, the screens will automatically download those changes and then publish them. So it's really, really great for keeping your content as quickly and as up to date as possible. But also the secondary thing that's very good for is if you have like a network outage or something like that, what it will do is it will attempt to keep playing the last presentation that you assigned, barring if you had some form of streamed media like a YouTube clip or something like that. So we can then just wait for that download arrow to vanish, and then the video will then be appearing on the screen, basically. Okay, a couple of other things that I want to quickly highlight. I'm not going to go into them in too much detail. You can schedule content as well, so that at particular times certain content can appear. And what you can also do is you can loop content as well. So what that basically means is this presentation will play maybe the full screen images one, and then it will play the multi-zoned one, and then another one and another one, including things like streaming YouTube and Sky News and all of that nice stuff. Further to that as well, if you have multiple people managing it, so we always say it's really good to kind of share the load of content creation, make sure that you've got other people involved. You can have as many different user profiles on here as you want. There is no limit. Even if you have one screen, you can have 10 people accessing that one screen. So in this case, you can see here, I've got 5 of my colleagues on this account. 2 of them are non-admin, myself is one, Matt and Pete are other admins, so we can go in and we can manage whatever we want. But in Gilly and John's case, I have the option to go into this editor basically that lets me go in and configure exactly what they can see and also edit. So that could be a single presentation or a single screen, or you could even go further and, like, for example, on that zoned option behind me, I could say you're not allowed to edit the logo, the RSS feed or the images, but you can edit certain pieces of text. So again, it's really, really easy to kind of maintain and do that as well. So that's just a quick flavor of CleverLive, but obviously if you do need any more information, please reach out. We can provide a demonstration very, very quickly and also show you a more kind of akin to your requirements. And if you do have any questions, please surf on the YouTube channel. There's loads of really good content there. If you go to clevertouch.com, all of our brochures, data sheets, information is on there as well. And of course, a member of the team will be more than happy to help if you do want to fill out a contact form to get more information. Thank you very much.